Greetings, this is Charles Darwin, and I'm continuing to consider the first chapter of Genesis, since that seems to be so important in everybody's understanding of the Bible, and especially in the controversies between creation and evolution. I suggested in a previous video that perhaps the right interpretation of Genesis 1 is not to try to figure out what it means historically, or even what it means in terms of poetry perhaps, but think of it as a song. It does have that structure. It has the verses, 6 verses, and then the 7th verse regarding the 7th day of rest. It's got 7 verses, and it's got a refrain. And there was evening and there was morning, and God saw that it was very good. You see, there's a refrain, and where you see a recurring refrain, that brings up the possibility that it's music. Perhaps it was originally set to music, the tune that has been lost, as were many of the Psalms. Sometimes we have, along with the Psalms, little statements saying, to be sung to the tune of Dove in Far-Off Terebinths. Well, we don't know what that tune is anymore. It's been lost. It'd be wonderful to hear the Psalms sung as they were originally written. Could that perhaps also be the case with Genesis 1? I don't know, but a few years ago, more years ago than I would like to remember actually, I wrote a song based on Genesis 1. And you don't want to hear me singing the entire 6 verses of the song, so I'm just going to sing parts of it to you. I used the tune of Oh What a Beautiful Morning from Oklahoma by Rodgers and Hammerstein. And so I changed it a little bit, and this was the refrain that I used. Oh, what a beautiful morning, oh, what a beautiful day. I speak and it is created, everything's going my way. And this expresses that there was a supreme God who was in control of creation. It wasn't gods warring against each other, but it was a supreme and beautiful morning of creation each time it happened. So that makes it a song, doesn't it? Well, I went through the 5 verses, and then the 6th verse. I will give you the 6th verse. Let the animals come creeping forth, let the animals come creeping forth, and one pair of animals will look like me. I'll give them dominion o'er land, sky, and sea, etc. So that would be the creation of all the animals creeping forth, and then one pair of animals, the humans, not even getting the entire day to themselves. And then the final refrain after the 7th verse. Oh, what a beautiful morning, oh, what a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful cosmos, you'd better keep it that way. And that brings us to the idea of stewardship of the cosmos. Not just that here it is, it's big, and God made it, or whatever, but rather we need to take care of it. And especially true that there are now 7 billion human beings on the Earth. We can, in fact, have a significant impact even upon the entire Earth ecosystem itself through global warming. And so we have to do something to keep it in its original glory. This, of course, is not found so much in Genesis 1, but in Genesis 2, when God commands Adam to till and to keep the garden. Maybe that's the 3rd chapter, I don't remember. But that brings in the dimension of stewardship, that this world may have been given to us, we may have been given dominion over it, but that just means that we have to take care of it, rather than that we can do anything that we want to with it. Well, think of Genesis 1 as a song, and maybe you can ignore some of those controversies. This is Charles Darwin. Tally ho, and amen.